So as fertilizer, biogas is also often used. Crop yields are generally acknowledged to be higher following fertilization with digested sludge. Most vegetable crops such as potatoes, carrots, cabbage, etc., and many types of fruit appear to react favorably to sludge fertilization. Sludge is a good fertilizer for pastures and meadows. It is also an undisputed fact that biogas sludge is better from an ecological point of view. In conclusion, ecologically safe production of biogas could provide rural areas with heat and electricity. But most importantly, biogas stations are waste-free and do not create any ecological problems. The fertilizers are harmless, they saturate depleted soil with nutrients, and due to that, even a desert can be turned into a human-made farming field. Thank you for your attention. Do you have any questions?
Okay, thank you.
So, are there any questions, or I can finish?
You can finish.
Okay.
Okay, and Monrashuk Anastasia is ready, so let's hear her report about globalization in policy.
Okay, I'm sorry that I couldn't answer earlier because I had some technical problems, but I have already solved them. That's why let's start. So my presentation. So I want to tell you about globalization in policy. So globalization in policy is a relatively new phenomenon in world politics. So the scientists started to learn in the 90s of the 12th century, but this phenomenon is still ambiguous, and the science of law and policy has both advantages and disadvantages of it. Among the main advantages, it's necessary to pay attention to the next one. It is the cooperation of the states aimed at reaching the common benefits. It's more easy to solve common problems when the states act like the members of one organization, and this principle appeared during the forming of such organization like the European Union or the NATO. The other positive aspect is the influence of information. So the experience of high developed states and their scientific achievements can be developed between each other, and it can help to make all the states equal in their conditions and rights. So the states will have equal opportunities, and it is the main purpose of globalization to make a world like one state. That's why one of the most important principles is a world is a state. However, there are a lot of disadvantages of the political globalization, and one of the most influence disadvantage is the limitation of sovereignty of every separate state. The sovereignty can be determined like the force of authority and the independence of the one state from the other states and from international organizations. That's why sovereignty is so important. Besides, there is a problem in distance between high developed countries and the states which are developing. The significant issue is that every state should have equal rights and equal opportunities, so that together they could solve global political problems. But these states have different political systems, and these political systems influence on have influence on public relations, which are not similar everywhere. So also the next issue is that national governments lose their force. For instance, some states start to use international communities, and local authorities are not as important as they should be. For instance, in some post-Soviet countries like Ukraine, people try to use European reforms. But as for me, it is a big mistake, because these reforms should be implemented only after reaching the necessary level of development. Also, one more disadvantage is information, because it can be not only a useful feature, but also a dangerous feature. Some high-developed states can use it as a possible weapon when we talk about nuclear, chemical, or bacteriological weapon. So it may be dangerous for the whole world, and it can lead to world disasters. As a conclusion, I want to say that only one state in the world will not be. That's why now it is more important to have friendly relations between all the countries than combine them in one. So that's all. Thank you for your attention. Good day to everyone.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody have any questions?
Yes, if you have some questions, I'm ready to answer.
No, okay. Then we can continue. So now it's time to listen to Kuzik Anastasia, and she will tell what she will tell us about the smart window. That's okay.
Yeah.
You can start.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you see my presentation?
Yes.
One second. So, today I want to tell you about one very interesting technology called artificial window. But first, let's talk about one really significant issue. Everyone knows that the sun strongly impacts people because it has enormous energy. Every single day it recharges us with its power. For centuries, humans used to get up with the first rays of this star. Sunlight has been always associated with life, happiness, and positiveness. Sunlight is primarily known as a booster for vitamin D production. It means that when the sun rays hit our skin, vitamin D is produced by our body. There are so many researches on the necessity of vitamin D. It is as crucial as having a meal and sleep. In this way, it's scientifically proved that daylight has a huge impact on our health. We need only 30 minutes per day to strengthen the immune system, activate the metabolism in the body, as well as enhance production of endorphin and serotonin, which are simply called the hormones of happiness. There is an already known fact that every live creature follows the rhythms of the sun. Almost all actions are managed by the biological clock. So the circadian rhythm adjusts our psychology to the various periods of the day. Simply saying, we need some daylight hours. Sounds pretty insuring, right? But now let's look at the consequences of the sunlight shortage. I'm sure that some of these problems are familiar to you. Sun deficit may cause psychological and physical health illnesses. So have you ever felt anxiety, stress, or even more, depression? Having a bad mood, arguing with close people, the problem may be caused by the lack of the sun. Being confused, getting distracted, the loss of constant attention, the issues connected to our mental health. But what is more dangerous, bone fracturing or muscle weakness, moreover, dental and eye problems. That's really scary things that could happen. But today, we have the smart and in some way genius technology. So what is it? What you can see on the picture. Right, it looks like a real window, but the photo was taken in a basement. Looks very realistic. It's a highly technological gadget, which intended to resemble a real window. It is almost similar to our natural daylight rhythms, which means it corresponds with our circadian system. The interesting thing is that this window follows the sun so that it mimics different times of the day. Device, and it doesn't look like a simple table lamp. It's created to imitate a window, so we can call it a window on the wall. It has a full spectrum of light with ultraviolet for health. This window produces a full range of natural light with the wide angle of the projected light changing throughout the day and makes incredible sunrise, dawn, dusk, and sunset scenarios. In the pictures, we can see different shadows of the window. The company that invented this product says that this device helps users to synthesize vitamin D while they are indoors or in low lit places. Moreover, users can enjoy the sun simulator without having to worry about skin aging or sunburn. This highly technological gadget is intended to resemble a real window. Due to the fact it's a smart device, you can fully control the color of temperature that varies from warm orange sunrise to bright white high noon. Furthermore, you can simulate the way the sun casts different shadows during the day. Let's move to the usage of the smart windows. As I already mentioned, in the beginning, we need sunlight. It's our natural instinct. In this way, in my opinion, this device will be helpful for people with poorly lit flats, those who have a natural light shortage. It is a serious struggle at a time when much of the world is being forced to stay indoors due to the COVID-19 pandemic. With nowhere to go, dreaming of a place where more beautiful than a cramped apartment. Or talking about offices. There are a huge amount of offices where there are no windows because it's simply cheaper to rent such space. There are also problems connected to the architectural character. When people not only don't receive the normal amount of sun, but they can't see anything throughout the windows except the wall. Or worse, neighbor's window. This photo is from one of Chinese districts. In this case, the smart window can improve the situation. Personally, I can't imagine a happy life in such an apartment. In my opinion, some hospitals also have problems with the lit. But we have to pay more attention to hospitals because people there feel bad. Patients are placed there to improve their health as quickly as possible. So the natural light and vitamin D are necessary for them. Let's move now to the nearest future, the ultra-technological basements in private houses with smart windows. Going underground and extending homes downward through the basement seems to be an increasing trend. Usually when you start going down 1 to 3 levels, swimming pools and some of these spaces can become unpleasant. But this application can bring that daylight feel. So it will make the spaces a lot more pleasant. But what will be in a few decades? Some sources believe that skyscrapers will be replaced with earth scrapers. As cities become even more overcrowded, an inverted skyscraper burrowing downwards into the earth may be the answer. In my opinion, smart windows will be installed there. To conclude, I can say that this device will assist people a lot soon. I'm definitely convinced that such a system will become popular in recent years because it is a new smart technology. After all, nowadays there is an increase of interest interest in technology for improving mental balance and physical healthinesses. Therefore, the artificial smart windows will influence humans a lot. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. If anybody have some questions, you can ask. Okay. Then next presenter is Fasova Anastasia, and her report is about the teleportation as the breakthrough of the future. So,
Good morning.
good morning.
First of all, I'd like to introduce myself. I am Anastasia Fasova, and I am the second year student of the Heat and Power Engineering Department. And today, I'd like to discuss such an interesting topic as teleportation. So, I think that we can consider it like the breakthrough that will happen in the future. So could you imagine the apple transforming into something like a radio wave and traveling through buildings and changing back into an apple? That may sound weird, but quantum mechanics says that teleportation is possible. But what steps should we make in order to make teleportation possible? Firstly, we should understand that the thing cannot be sent by radio, but the information about it can. The next question that we may ask ourselves is what information should be sent? The fact is that any object is defined by a collective quantum state resulting from its many atoms. In such a way, if this information could be read in Kiev, sent around the world, atoms for the same chemical elements could have this information and created the same thing in Berlin. But there is a challenge. The position and momentum of a particle can't be measured at the same time. The simplest way to measure the exact momentum of an electron requires scattering of a photon from it and collecting a light in a microscope. But that scattering changes the momentum of the electron in an unpredictable way. We lose all previous information about momentum. So measuring the information changes the quantum state. And in order to achieve teleportation of the scene, we may use such a phenomena as quantum entanglement. It's still an old mystery for all of us from the early days of quantum physics, and it's still not entirely understood. However, it is still well known that entangling the spin of two electrons results in an influence that transcends distance. Measuring the first electron determines what spin will measure for the second, whether the two particles are a mile or a year light apart. But interaction between objects must begin locally, not far from each other, before teleporting one of them. The two electrons must be entangled in close proximity before one of them is transported to a new site. That's why quantum entanglement cannot be considered teleportation by itself. To complete the teleport, we need a digital message to help interpret the first electron at the receiving end. These digital bits must be transmitted by classical channels at the speed of light or radio wave or something like that. And according to the principles of quantum physics, when we measure a particle for this digital message, we destroy its quantum information, which means the apple must disappear in Kiev and appear in Berlin. Teleportation transfers the information about the object and recreates it without duplication. So, according with the information that was mentioned earlier, we could teleport objects, even people. But unfortunately, the complexity of this task and energy needed is great. We cannot estimate quantum states of objects consisting of trillion atoms. That's why people cannot teleport right now. Lucky, for now, we can teleport single electrons and atoms across the room, as estimating their quantum states became possible. In future work, the quantum physicists will focus on how to extend the newly gained knowledge to enable teleportation of the entire quantum state of a single photon or atom. Yes. To conclude, I want to say that our future is unpredictable, and everyone was persuaded that even the craziest dreams might become reality. And we should remember that never say never. Humans have advanced from an unpredictable understanding of the behavior of electrons at the atomic scale to teleporting them across a room. Only time and space can show where the teleportation of people will become possible, but something makes me believe that teleportation will also come true. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I had some technical problems with my internet. Okay. If there is some question, ask it. Okay.
Thanks.
Continue. Thank you. Okay, the next speaker is Rak Maria. She is going to tell us about smart steps towards electricity. Okay, Maria, are you here?
Can you give me, please, 15 seconds just?
Oh, okay. We will wait.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Mary Rak, and my topic is called Smart Steps Towards Electricity. Have you ever thought about how much energy, heat, or electricity people use in a day in meaningless? This means cases, for example, when in broad daylight in the office, the lights are turned on, instead of opening the blinds. The air conditioner is working at full capacity, around the clock, or the water tap is not fully closed. In the modern world, such things as lighting, television, or, for example, a vacuum cleaner will surprise no one. These are the attributes for everyday life that almost everyone has. By the way, the items we all use are often powered by electricity. But in our country, there are cities and villages in which people receive light and water at certain times and in limited quantities. In recent years, the question has become more relevant than ever. And against the backdrop of the coming global warming, we have to think about two critical questions. How will subsequent generations live after us, and how can we help them at the moment? Everyone here probably knows about what green energy is. This is exactly the opportunity that can help us. And after all, when you sit at home with all the devices turned on, few people will think, what will happen next? So you can always help if there are desires and opportunities. If every person will monitor at least a little the consumption of electricity, we will save it so much that it is even difficult to imagine. Now I want to tell you about one very interesting and effective innovation. It's called paving tiles. And now a little bit about it. Each site on one of the busy streets takes up to 50,000 steps a day. The idea of using foot traffic to efficiently transform steps into energy was generated in a project developed by Lawrence Campbell Cook, director of UK-based Pavagin Systems Ltd. An inventor created paving slabs that produce electricity from the kinetic energy of walkers. The device in the innovative tile is made of a pliable waterproof material that flexes by about 5 millimeters when pressed. This in turn creates energy, which the mechanism turns into electricity. The collected watts are either stored in a lithium polymer battery or instantly go to lighting bus stops, shops, windows, and signage. So, the Pavagin tile itself is considered completely environmentally friendly. Its base is made of special grade stainless steel and recycled polymer with low carbon content. The top surface is made of used tires, which makes the tiles durable and highly resistant to abrasion. During the London 2012 Summer Olympics, tiles were installed on many pedestrianized streets. In 2 weeks, they managed to get 20 million joules of energy. This was more than enough for the work of street illumination in the British capital. Start with yourself, generate and develop this insanely important industry. After all, who else but us will take care of our future and the future of our children? So thank you for your attention and I wish you a good day.
Thank you. So we can continue. So the last speaker is Yakimchuk Nazari, and his report is about energy-saving technologies. Nazari, are you here?
Yes.
Okay. You can start.
Hello, my name is Nazar. I'm from Institute of Energy Science and Energy Management, and today I will tell you about space solar energy. Space solar energy. One of the main obstacles to solar energy is the inherent problem with the atmosphere above your head. Solar elements on the Earth's surface can generate electricity only when the sun is in the sky. And for many countries, especially in the northern hemisphere, constant clouds can cause a damper in the solar economy. But what if you could bypass the atmosphere at all? What if you could use solar? A little bit about history of cosmic solar energy. The idea of collecting solar energy in space is not new. It didn't take long after the invention of the first silicon-based solar cells and the advent of space exploration for anyone to understand that these two technologies would make a happy marriage. American aerospace engineer Peter Glaser wrote the first official proposal for a space solar power system in 1968. The purpose of creating this innovation. Each roadmap needs a destination, and for space solar energy, JAXA has offered a commercially viable 1 gigawatt space solar energy system. The system will consist of a geosynchronous orbital satellite equipped with modern silicon solar panels. Orbital mirrors ensure that sunlight is always concentrated on the satellite solar panels as it rotates with the Earth's rotation, even when it is on the side of the Earth opposite to Sun. Problems of creating this project. One of the main problems of such project is the transfer of energy to Earth. Chinese scientists plan to convert the energy into microwave or laser beam for transmission to a special collectors located on Earth. A real breakthrough in this area was made by scientists from the Japan Aerospace Exploration Energy, JAXA. Back in 1215, researchers were able to transmit 1.8 kilowatt of electricity to a distance of up to 45 meters. Implementation of this idea. Aerial backdrop in this area was made by scientists from JAXA. Back in 1215, researchers were able to transmit 1.8 kilowatt of electricity at the distance of up to 55 meters. This amount of electricity is enough for almost any household appliance. So far, these are only the first developments. The distance of energy transfer is not so great, but it is already a significant contribution to the development of this global project for the planet. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you. Somebody any questions? Okay, if nobody has any questions, then thank you very much for all contribution, your attention and discussion. The conference is over now. So thank you for coming, and see you next year.